That was Dreamland and Handle My Biz by the Vic City Soldiers. And we have one of the Vic City Soldiers on the line right now. His name is Jazz Mills. He is one of the MCs, as I already said. Yeah, and I think we might have him on the line here. Let's just see what we can do with our radio magic. Yo, Jazz Mills, can you hear me, man?
I can hear you.
Word, I can hear you finally. How's it going, man?
Good.
That's good, that's good. So, this joint that we just played, Handle My Biz.
Yes.
Which verse are you on that?
I was the first person.
Word. What struck you about that track the first time you heard it? Like,
the first time, I originally was going to write it for myself, but when we were coming to completion for the album, I decided to use it for all three of us, and I had a completely different setup for it, and I just kind of whipped it together, and that was the outcome. It's more of a comedic song.
Word.
We tried to make it.
So, like, do you find that it's easier to work in that kind of a group dynamic and really have fun with a track like that?
Oh yeah, it's easy to have fun with music, and like doing it with these two guys, that I've been able to write some of like the best lyrics I've ever written in my life. So
that's always dope when you can find set up like that. So how did you guys first come together as a group?
Well, as a group, Vic City Soldiers was originally a thing that I came up with about 4 years ago with my cousin Stax. Me and Stax kind of had a fallout, but the idea stuck with me, and I joined Battle Axe Warriors, and I became a big member for the island. And Jeremy, he's been one of my longtime friends. I think it's like 16 years, and he was like, "Oh, let's do some music. Let's put some music together." And I was like, "Yeah, man, let's do it." And Shane, goes by Lost Boy. He's a member of Bax War as well. So he was listening in on us recording music and stuff, and he's like, "Oh man, I want to do this kind of stuff too." So that's kind of how it came together. It happened September 2016 when we did our first track.
That's sick, man. So it all just kind of came together, united through being part of Bax War.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is it like being a part of the Bax War family, that Bax War community? Like, do you go out to like meetings in Vancouver and stuff? Did they have like big get-togethers? Is there a Facebook group? Like, what does that look like?
Oh, there's definitely a Facebook group. On Facebook, it's Battle Axe Global Familia. That's open to the public, so the public can check that out. I host meetings in Victoria once a month for our Victoria division. There's a division in Nanaimo that's hosted by my buddy Kevin out there, who's actually a French rapper.
Oh, word. I know Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's doing this thing out there. And then we got another division out in Powell River. So I kind of look after all three divisions.
Cool, because I guess since you're like in Victoria, and Victoria is probably the biggest city, the biggest meetings, that you're kind of the biggest island guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool. So is that being around that community of fans and friends and other artists, did that inspire you to like the sound of the album as well?
Not necessarily. Swollen Members is a big influence on the group aspect of Vic City Soldiers. Mm-hmm. But we kind of try to make our own sound with it. Like I have a slower flow. Wordmaster J, he's got the double times and he's quick. And then Shane, Lost Boy, he's a punk. he's into punk music and stuff. So like, he kind of took that aspect and kind of made his own style.
That's really cool. And I also see that you guys have this track, Wrecking Crew, that you did with Tangible 2.
Yeah.
Longtime Kinetic Flow listeners will know Tangible 2, and longtime fans of Island Hip Hop will know Tangible 2 as well.
Oh,
they're
exactly,
definitely high energy dudes while performing. And so what was it like working with those guys? Did you all get together and write? Did you all record at the same time?
Well, we all recorded separately, but we first encountered Tangible on stage last May, I think. or July.
Oh, so you caught them at like a show, like you were both performing in the same spot?
Yeah, we did a show with a guy named Stax from Ontario. He was doing a Canadian tour. Nanaimo was one of his stops, and Tangible got put on the bill with us. And since then, it's just been probably the best other group that we love to do music with. Word.
Yeah, so that's just kind of where it took off. Did you guys all kind of agree on like a central topic, or was it more of like a freestyle cipher kind of a feel?
Not necessarily a freestyle, but it was definitely a cipher. Wrecking Crew was just, it came to my head like listening to the instrumental for that song, and like I was like, just go with it, just Wrecking Crew, just write about whatever, you know. We're here to take over the game kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, definitely. It comes on in a big way. And so how many shows have you guys done now?
Up to date, we've done almost 60 shows.
60
up and down the island and on the mainland.
No rookies.
No. We started off as rookies for sure. Like it was a crazy start. Like we didn't know what we were doing, looking off in weird directions when we're on stage. But now we're just intertwined with the crowd, and it's amazing. We like just the progression that we've had since our first show is amazing.
What are some of the challenges that you've had along the way? Because I know sometimes sound production and sound quality at a show can be tough. And how do you manage that with a group of 3 MCs?
Well, sound, like it depends on like where we're performing, right? We do a lot of shows at Upstairs Cabaret in Victoria, and like their sound is really good, and like we know like our way around the stage and like how loud we got to be on the mic, and like because we're frequent there, Upstairs knows how to keep our sound really nice. Shows out of town are like a lot different. Like we have to do sound check and everything, but sometimes the promoters that we work with don't even let like the local guys do sound check.
Oh,
so it's kind of rough sometimes.
Yeah, so you just kind of got to go, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you'll find us switching mics on stage because like one mic will be louder than the other, and I'm a quiet person, so I always have to try and get the loudest one if that's the case.
Okay, so yeah, that's just kind of you mentioned that you were like the quiet one. So is there one person who kind of addresses the crowd more than the others, or is it kind of a group effort?
We try to do it as a group, but Word Master Jay has always got the crowd's attention.
Word, he's the Word Master. Right?
Yeah, he can go off freestyling for hours if you give him the chance. Like just constant flowing all the time. It's crazy.
That's awesome. That's a he's hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm also thinking like, what do you guys have planned for the future? Because once you're up at the 60 show mark, like you're not planning on slowing down anytime soon.
No, definitely not. Right now we're actually in the works of trying to get a music grant through Factor.ca. Hoping that will help us push our career across Canada. So like that's our ultimate goal, to do at least a cross Canada tour.
Well, that would be a crazy trip. Yeah, I think there's also some stuff that you could do through Creative BC. Just a little plug. Rob the Viking through the Chamber Studios has just been approved for all sorts of grant funding through Creative BC. So
cool.
Yeah, they're definitely they're giving out grants to artists who want to make music here in BC. So it's also something to check out.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, no, I didn't even hear about that. And I know Rob got in, like, he set up a new studio.
Yeah.
Like, he moved his studio. And I've seen pictures on Facebook, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, his studio actually happens to be right next door to CHLY.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I actually like saw him on the way in, and that's how I learned about it. So
nice.
You could be one of the lucky recipients of a grant to work with Rob the Viking.
That would be amazing. I'm definitely going to look into that.
Yeah, definitely. And before we get into the next track here, what is one of your favorite things about working with the Vic City Soldiers?
Just being a part of the music, like being on stage and being able to perform for people is amazing. Like I get such a good vibe off it, and like seeing people who frequently come to our shows singing along with us, like it makes me feel real good about being an artist.
That's sick, man. It's all a cycle. You make them feel good, they make you feel good, and you make music together.
Exactly.
And speaking of making music together, we're gonna get into it here with Wrecking Crew with the Vic City Soldiers and Tangible 2. It was great talking to you, Jazz Mills, and I'm sure we'll have you back on in the future.
Yes, you will. Thanks.
Yeah, peace, man. Yes, this is Wrecking Crew with Tangible 2 and the Vic City Soldiers, and we'll be back with more of the Vic City Soldiers in a little bit. Stay tuned. That was Wrecking Crew by the Vic City Soldiers and Tangible 2. Tangible 2 out of Ladysmith. Big ups to Nanaimo Ladysmith Hip Hop. And we are live right now with the man Wordmaster J. So I'm going to say a big what up to Wordmaster J. How's it going, man?
What up, what up, what up?
You just kicking back tonight, having a nice relaxing night?
You know.
Yeah, definitely, man. So tell me a little bit about your history as a MC. Like, what was the first time you remember spitting bars?
First time I remember spitting bars, it was pretty much, well, I was like, well, I want to try this because I was at a homeboy's house and he was freestyling. So I was like, I'm going to try that. So I go home and I start chopping it up over this instrumental. You know, it's like when you first start out, you're not that good, so you're like, I don't really want to try it again because that sounded terrible. Fuck that shit. Oh, curse about that, my bad. But, yeah, you know how it is. You kind of discourage yourself after a little bit. You're like, but if you keep up with it, consistency is the key. You just kind of keep doing it and doing it and doing it. You know, you just bring yourself to a level that you want to be at, right?
Word. So were you a freestyler first or a writer first?
I was definitely a freestyler first.
So what was it like transitioning from freestyling to writing?
It was really different because, like, when you freestyle, you just go off the top of the dome. You just go off in the moment, however it goes, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're writing, you got to really focus on your pronunciations, your punchlines, and what you're trying to make a story of, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard to get a recorded freestyle that sounds as sick as the not recorded freestyle.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I sit here sometimes and I'm like, okay, I want to just start going off, right? So I'll put a beat on and I'll record it. And there's a ton load on SoundCloud, right? So I'll just, like, there's that setting you can just sit and record. So I'll just sit there for hours and just record freestyles, right?
Yeah. That's awesome, man. And do you pull material from your freestyles to use in written tracks?
At times, if I'm in there recording, right, and I have like most of my written, and it's like maybe a bar or two, or like a bar and a half or something like that, I'll just, freestyle the rest of it.
That's cool, man. And so, when you're working with Lost Boy and Jazz Mills on Vic City Soldiers joints, like, do you guys write together and freestyle together? Is there one that you guys do more together, or is it just kind of like you guys are doing it all?
Well, we mostly just, we just kind of go with it and have fun. If we freestyle, we freestyle, but mostly it's all about the pen game, right? Yeah,
definitely, because the pen game is the most important as a show, basically, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. You want to be consistent on your writing, because you want to show the people that you are working and you are hungry and you want to get to the next level, and you want to, you know what I mean? It's a fun journey. Like, from firstly starting out, the very first time I stepped on stage with the boys, it was like, okay, I'm going on stage now.
Definitely.
Like, I'm going to do something I kind of dreamed about. Now I'm actually living it, so this is a blessing, right?
Totally. So how much time goes into rehearsing things? Like, do you guys have your act pretty much down to the point where you only need to rehearse it like maybe once before, or are you guys before every show kind of like doing like an hour or two rehearsal?
Well, like, to be honest, I kind of rehearse every single day, right? I just get up and start doing it. Even you got nothing to do, I just do music, right? So
right.
There's times where we do get together, have a nice little rehearsal session, and start writing and planning for like what we want to do for our next song and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. That's cool. And so are you guys working on any new tracks, any new projects currently?
Yeah, we are actually. We're in the mix of making a couple of remixes, and we're in the mix of dropping our new. Well, not dropping, just putting together our new album.
Ah, that's cool. So lots of stuff that you're keeping close to the chest for the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Surprises.
Hey, so when you guys came out with your first project, how did you launch that? How did you present yourselves as a group, and how did you build up to where you are now?
Just pretty much just did what we did, got on stage and just went nuts.
Yeah.
We're just like, yeah, let's just keep going with this. This is a good vibe. You know what I mean? We love doing what we do, and it's almost like a possession. You don't understand what you're doing until you're off the stage. You're like, oh, I just did this.
Yeah, totally. It's like you're stepping into a black hole for a second. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's like time just stops for a second. You're like, oh, this is amazing.
That's sick, man. So you've noticed that a lot of your guys' growth and development has been through doing shows, right?
Yeah, we've done over 60 shows in the past time that we've been together. So we've been together for almost 2 years now, right? So, and each time and every time we step on stage together, we get more and more comfortable, and it's just more and more fun, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like definitely the more comfortable you are, the more louder and crazier you're gonna be.
Absolutely. And Jazz was talking about how you guys have some plans for a future cross Canada tour. So is there any place where you think that you'd really like to perform, like any city, any part of the country that like you just think would be wild?
Oh man, like I've been to Kelowna. I never got to really experience Kelowna. I just been there in one section, but the hip hop scene there is insane. I hear, and I always see different settings and stuff like that. So it'd be cool to have a stop in Kelowna.
Word, man.
And another spot would be, where else would it be? Red Deer's crazy.
It's funny that you mentioned both of those places. I used to live in Kelowna, and I was just there visiting recently and went to a local hip-hop show there.
Yeah.
My buddy Strategy was performing. Strategy's got some insane stuff, and there was all sorts of dudes there. It was just a big, like, nice venue, good sound, live DJ, like the whole thing. Like, definitely shows in Kelowna are a good time, and the talent out there is crazy. You definitely receive a warm welcome there.
Yeah,
and
for real.
a local producer we have here, Marcello Del Caro, he was involved in the hip-hop and the EDM scene out in Red Deer, and he said that the game out there is also pretty insane. They have, all of the big acts come through there, and I think they got enough talent out there to keep things a little competitive.
Yeah, exactly right. Keep everybody on their tippy toes. That's what you want. You want to see that.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys are you all from Victoria originally, or are you all just living there currently?
Yeah, no, originally, like Lost Boys, he's from Toronto, right? But he came here a few years back, and we all met through Battle Axe Warriors. It was pretty kind of funny. We all just started kicking it. We were all making a track one day, and my buddy's like, yo, I want to do that. I was like, get on the mic, man. Just rip it up. Go ahead. And the kid lays down his verse in one take, and I was like, did you seriously just do that? Like, you've never rapped before, and you just laid down your verse in one take. Wow.
Yeah, he's just ready to go.
Yeah, he was in there, and he was in the zone, right? So I was like, yeah, I'm proud of you.
That's incredible, man.
That was our first track. It was called Food for Thought.
That story also is some food for thought for sure. And so do you find that you're open to working with more and more people as you grow, or do you find that it's kind of gone the opposite way where you want to work more with the group?
Definitely. No, you want to work as much as possible with everybody. You want to network. You want to get yourself out there, right? Because if I work with a different artist, I'm still representing my team, right? I'm Word Master J from the Vic City Soldiers. So I'm doing a collaboration with one of my homies, and then I'm doing another collaboration with one of my other friends, right? So at the same time, I'm still representing the team.
Yeah, exactly. And you're showing off for the team in places where they may not know about the Vic City Soldiers.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what you want, right? And that's why I like Instagram. Instagram is cool, man. You can drop a freestyle video and just post it, and people from wherever will like it, right?
Yeah, exactly, because it's so shareable, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you want. You want networking, because the more people share your stuff and you share other people's stuff, and, you know, it's like, hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours, but at the same time, we're a hip-hop community. We want to grow, right? We want to go to the next level. We want to make good music. We want to present a good message, right?
Yeah, totally.
We want everyone to enjoy and vibe and feel that. We want to be like, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I find that, like, especially in the realm of Instagram, like, freestyle videos are really popular. But,
yeah,
you know, there's something to be said for the old-fashioned audio recording freestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the just rough, unedited, rough raw copy.
Yeah, totally, man. So
get her done.
Yeah, we're about to get her done, man. We're gonna get raw on the Kinetic Flow tonight. You ready to spit a freestyle, man?
Yeah, let's do this.
Word, I'm gonna hook you up with a beat and you can just set in whenever you want, man. Here you go.
Cut off or something?
No, you're there, man.
Yo, I'm there. Okay. Yo. I was thinking maybe I was just cut off. I was holding up. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'ma be sitting on the beat. You know what I'm doing when I'm in the street. Cause I be sitting like I be a G. Cause I be obviously I'll be puffing on the corn until the day I die. You know what I'm right. I'm excited every time I rhyme. I'ma be climbing the mountain. You know what I be shouting. Hip hop. Yeah, that's what I preach. Never gonna stop. I'll be representing like Bigger Pot. Cause I'll be the 91. You know I'm rhyming, son. Realize that I be high constantly. Yo, I be coughing, never stopping, yeah, that's just me. I'm the MC for Victoria, warrior, put it back on the map, and that is that, yeah. Who the heck am I? That's that. Fat, you know I'll be fine, that's that. You know what, I'm reacting, I'm never stopping, I'm going back, and I gotta get my plaque. Hip-hop, it's hip-hop, yeah, word. Master J coming to blaze with the best. Okay, you know what I'm feeling like I just did some stress. Get this off of my chest now, cause this music's what I'm living for. You know what, I be so proud, yeah.
Word Master J on the Kinetic Flow. That was some shit, man. You got more for the people?
I do.
Set it
all right,
off.
Hold up. Man, I'm about to make a sequel. I got more for the people. Cause you know what, I just be lethal. I be like, okay, I'ma be earning that. Yo, I burn that shit, that's tight. Cause you know that I be wicked every day of my life. I'll be on this mic, I be spitting through my phone. I'm on a live radio call up in my home. Oh, I'ma have to survive. Yo, I be twitching, I be thinking every day I'll be high. Shout out to my boy Switch, you know what this is. I just got to say, I got to play the biz and that's it. I'll be lit, can't even stop. I'm seeing the arm of the clock, cause I'll be popping. Okay, alright. 24/7, hip-hop is my life. Music is life, that's the right.
Ooh, shit. Yeah, that's what it is. This is what the people tuned in for. Yeah.
Yo, man, Frankenstein.
Word, man. Word, Master J. It's been good chatting with you.
Man, you too.
Unfortunately, we do not have Lost Boy with us tonight. He got lost somewhere along the way.
Yeah, much love, Lost Boy. I love you, brother.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna send it out with a couple more Vic City Soldiers tracks. We got MPD featuring Arez and In the Game coming up. Thank you very much for joining me, Word Master J, and I hope to have you guys back sometime soon.
You know it. Much love.
Word. Peace, man.
Peace, dog.
You heard it here first, live and direct on the Kinetic Flow. That was the Vic City Soldiers. Mad love to Jazz Mills, Word Master J, and Lost Boy. Yeah, we're going to get into it here. MPD featuring Arez on the Kinetic Flow. That was MPD by the Vic City Soldiers featuring Arez, and we got In the Game coming up next. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a surprise special guest. He found his way to us tonight here on the Kinetic Flow. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome Lost Boy. How's it going, Lost Boy?
It's going good. How's it going with you?
Oh, good. Having a great night talking to all of you guys. So tell me, what is your favorite part about working in a hip-hop group as opposed to working as a solo act?
I actually wouldn't know. I never really been into music until we started Vic City Soldiers 2 years ago. So everything to me is all new every single time that we do it. So it's definitely interesting. think I've only performed one solo song, and not the same energy as I was expecting, with the two guys backing me up. So,
and what's it like when all three of you are just on and vibing? Like, can you describe that feeling of being on stage?
You kind of feel like you're on top of the world. I battle my anxiety before every single show. I always think, I can't get up there. I'm going to mess up. I'm never going to do this again. But then the boys come through and they hype me up. And as soon as we hit that stage and I hear that first beat play, everything drowns out. Everything goes quiet. And it's just the three of us up there. I don't even see the crowd through the lights most of the time. So that definitely makes it easier. But when the three of us are up there, nothing else matters. It's just kill that show and then on to the next one.
That's sick, man. So were you also, what was your battle with those feelings when you first got on the mic?
For me, mainly it was proving myself in an element that, hasn't been a part of my entire life. Like, I've always listened to hip-hop, but, my main focus was metal and punk rock. So for me, coming into this and coming from that kind of writing style was a big adjustment for me, and I wasn't sure how people were going to take it. So I got to try to give a little and take a little as well, and try to make it all into one good set for everybody. So I was not sure people were going to take me seriously, just based on, looks alone.
Right, because image is a huge part of hip-hop these days, especially with different genres of hip-hop. Like every trap rapper has that distinctive look, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and honestly, if you were to transition from any genre to any other genre, I think punk rock and rap are kind of, they're at least cousins.
Yeah, and I've actually got a lyric where I say punk and hip-hop are one and the same. I see it's the same voice of the streets, just told from a different side of the story, like a different group, but there's a lot of elements and attitudes that I found similar. That's why the transition was a little easier than someone who's diving into something they know nothing about.
So it kind of begs the question, have you done any tracks that have kind of more of a punk rock sound to them? And if not, would you like to do that sometime in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I've actually talked to a few different artists that we've met along our way in the last 2 years who are looking to do a live, kind of punk hip-hop crossover. I'm also looking into doing a ska crossover, get some brass instruments and stuff like that in there, and just kind of bring a new energy to our set kind of thing.
That's cool. So you're a fan more of live instrumentation then?
No, I just think, when you can actually see the music being performed, it brings a different experience to the people who are there watching it. Makes them feel more connected with it than, just hearing it being played through speakers, at least, that's through my experience.
Yeah, totally. It adds another element, and also performing with all of those other people adds that much more energy, right?
Exactly.
And so did you guys work with a specific producer for this album that you just did, or what was the process of recording this album?
The first two songs on the album, we actually recorded in Jasper's apartment building, and then we hooked up with our homie Eddie Vocals at a Lyric Studios here in Victoria. And once we decided that we were going to do the album and we got the backing from our manager, Sean, we basically just went down and laid it down as fast as we could.
That's sick, man. And do you plan on working with any sort of dedicated producer in the future, or is that kind of just something you're going to leave up to chance?
Oh, well, right now we're still learning as we go, and when it comes to bigger producers, it costs a lot, right? And we're all still trying to maintain what we're doing at our regular jobs and stuff. So it's definitely a plan down the road, but for right now, we're just trying to keep it a little more in the price range until, you know, easier means come our way.
Yeah, totally. And hip hop is an investment. I mean, you guys have an album behind you and you have 60 shows. If you're looking at music as a business, you guys can now apply to bigger shows and work with bigger producers over time, right?
Exactly.
Because you kind of have a good fan base. Do you guys have like merch or anything like that people can buy off of you?
Oh yeah, we have plenty of merch. We have men's and women's tank tops, t-shirts. We've got a couple hoodies that we've done a few runs of with some different logo styles.
Oh, nice.
We've got CDs and stickers, and we're looking into expanding our merch as well.
Totally. Merch is like half the battle, right?
Yeah, definitely half the battle.
Every band's got a sick shirt. Yeah. But do you find that, like, if you travel long distances, do you bring the merch as well? Or do you make that judgment call where you maybe leave the merch at home?
Oh, we bring the merch to pretty much every single show that we do. Even if we only sell one T-shirt or one CD, that's still, you know, it's still getting out there. People are still wearing it, tagging us on the Instagram and everything. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Definitely,
man. So what kind of gear do you guys bring with you? Like, what does a trip up to Nanaimo or a trip up to Courtney look like for you guys?
We pretty much we pick out our, you know, whatever clothes we're going to wear for the actual show, and then you know, everything else, it's just basic stuff. It's like a bunch of buddies going and just out of town for the weekend.
That's sick. So do you have any favorite moments from the road that you want to share with us?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of memories. I think one of my favorite ones is when we were up in Powell River. The hotel and the venue were attached in the same building, and it's one of the most haunted hotels in Western Canada.
Oh.
And so we snuck up to the third floor after we'd been partying after the show and everything. And we're all using a Ouija board this one time, and Jeremy's wife got really excited, and she's like, you got to make sure you have to say goodbye or it's going to screw you over, and she's psyching everybody up. And then the thing actually moved, and she freaked out, got up, and just bolted out, and a bunch of the dolls got knocked over, and everyone was freaking out, thinking we were going to leave Powell River haunted. And we've got a lot more stories, but not really radio friendly, and most of them are, you know, alcohol involved.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair, man. That's a nice radio friendly story, and I'm sure as you guys continue to do shows, you'll have a few more radio friendly ones in the bag.
Yeah, definitely.
Word, man. So where can people hear your music? Like, I know we can get you on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play. Is that everywhere that you're available, or can we find you elsewhere?
No, we're pretty much on every platform at this point now.
Awesome. Do you have one field where you're like really active, like, or is it equal across all platforms of social media?
I think Spotify seems to be our biggest one right now. We're getting more monthly listeners every week that goes by, so it's really cool to see how fast it's growing and where people are listening from. We've got some people over in Australia and New Zealand that are listening in, right? So it's a really cool feeling.
That's awesome, man. And if people want to keep up with you guys and what you're doing and where your next shows are, where should people follow you?
Definitely hit up our Facebook page. That's where the majority of our information goes first.
Definitely. So make sure that you're following the Vic City Soldiers on Facebook. It's spelt exactly how it sounds. You can listen to them on Spotify, YouTube, Google Play, any platform, but definitely listen to them on Spotify and hit them up on Facebook. Word. Yo, thank you for joining us tonight, Lost Boy.
Thank you.
We're going to send it out with this track, In the Game. I hope to talk to you guys very soon, and the next time you're up in Nanaimo, come and pay us a visit. Maybe we can do something.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Word. Take care, Lost Boy.
Yeah, peace out, brother.
There you have it. That was the Vic City Soldiers on the Kinetic Flow. Jazz Mills, Wordmaster Jay, and Lost Boy. You're definitely going to want to check them out and pay attention to them, because I think these guys have a promising future, and, you know, they're going to be in the game for quite a while. You see what I did there? Yeah, we got In the Game by the Vic City Soldiers coming up on the Kinetic Flow. And then after this, we got a solid hour block of hip-hop. You're not going to want to miss that. Finely curated selections after the ads. This has been Shakes. This has been the Kinetic Flow. I will see you guys next week.